Danny, welcome to Aldershot Town.
Thank you very much.
You look delighted to be here. Why Aldershot? Why did you come here? What was the appeal for you?
It's just a great opportunity, isn't it? It's a big club, a great support, an amazing community around here. There's great diversity in the community. You've got the military, you've got the Nepalese community, you've got the academies, you've got our foundation. Everything about it oozes a family feel, and who wouldn't want to work in an environment like that?
And what's your we'll go straight in. What's your philosophy on how do you like to see the game played? How do you like the game played?
I think the bottom line for me comes down to work ethic, and alongside that is the intensity that I like my teams to play at. It's with the ball, it's without the ball. Everything we do is with a purpose. I could stand here and say we'll dominate possession and everything, which is what I want our team to do. I want us to have the ball more than the opposition, but it has to have a purpose, and I think it boils down to the players' ability to make decisions in key moments of the game.
And what do you know about the club coming into it? This was quite a young club, 1992 it was formed.
Yeah, it's 27. It's interesting. I was speaking to the family about it, and we was looking at the history of the club and the mascot that's the Phoenix because of the rebirth of the club and whatnot. And you look at it and you think that it shows great resilience to have survived what it survived, and had a couple of little things after that as well with finances and things, and to keep coming and keep going. It's the right environment to be in, where if you're someone who wants to roll their sleeves up and have a go, you know.
And let's talk through your previous. As you took the Braintree job back in January when Hagan left to join Maidstone. What's your experience been like being the first team manager so far?
People think I'm a little bit sadistic, I think, because I've really enjoyed it, even with the negative results that we had at times. But we managed to finish the season in really strong fashion, and from the group of players that we put together and the backroom staff, we had the most successful period in the club season. And obviously that's given me a great platform to have this opportunity to be here and build a squad that hopefully can emulate some good performances and win football matches. And
a lot of the fans and staff at Braintree were quite sad to see you go. Was it a hard decision leaving them?
Yeah, I think from a personal perspective, yes, it was hard. But there's some, as I've said to several people today, there's some really, really lovely people there, and they made me feel welcome. They made me a part of their family, and they will always be friends of mine. From a professional perspective, it's an opportunity here to really try and build something that, you know, on and off the field, that can take this club hopefully in a direction that everybody in the area wants it to go in.
And what's the transition been like, going from coaching in youth team football to adult football now? Because you was originally assistant at Braintree, you moved up. How's it been?
Yeah, I think that if you've got an ability to deal with people and work with them and help them and develop them, I think whether you're a manager, an assistant manager, an under-23s coach, an 18s coach, that's a skill set in itself, and it's transferable. And yes, there are other issues and pressures that come with being a manager, but I quite enjoy it, and I like the challenge. I'm not one of these people that likes to sit on my desk and have an easy life and know that everything's ticked and dotted and all the I's and T's and whatnot have done, and I want to be challenged, and there's not really a lot that's been thrown up sort of into my face about things that I've looked at and thought, oh no, that's what a horrible part of management. I do enjoy it, and so the transition's been quite an easy one for me. I almost can't remember working within the youth. It's like I feel like I've been a manager for my whole career. So to have this opportunity here, as I said, it's a 2-year contract, and it's going to be exciting.
And working in youth football, you worked at some big clubs, West Ham, Chelsea, Charlton and Southend. Does that open up a massive of contacts for you to tap into?
Yeah, I think that through those contacts, you've got a lot of contacts at a lot of clubs as well, and the courses that I've been on, and you meet. There's some amazing people in football, and a lot of them don't get recognised because obviously it's always the man at the top that gets all the accolades and recognition. But there's some great people, and I trust them. So when they recommend a player, maybe someone who's not quite made the grade at sort of Premier League, Championship, League One level, and they think, but actually, do you know what? They just need a chance. They need a little bit of love. They need an environment where they can kind of learn about themselves, really. So those contacts are going to be invaluable for me.
And a lot of people have made the point that we're 2 weeks into the season finishing now, and then that puts us a couple of weeks behind all the other teams.
Yeah.
Have you already been on the phone since knowing you're getting the job to call up players?
Yeah, I think the conversations have been had. So it's been obviously up until now we've not been able to say where and when and whatnot. But there's a lot of meetings going to happen now after today, going forward this week. And there's a type of player that I want and a type of person that I want in the club. And I've got a good list of people that I want to bring to the club and who I believe will be interested because we have good relationships. So. And
you mentioned the youth football as well. Is that good news for our academy lads here? Will you look at them and see if they're good enough so they get the opportunity?
I think I proved that at Braintree. When I was manager at Braintree, I broke the league record twice for the youngest player, and we had 4 of the top 11 youngest players in National League history all made their debuts under me, and that's a credit to the staff at the club. And I think that if they show potential, it's a no-brainer from a club's perspective to develop their own players. You've got people already have an inherent understanding of the culture and the environment that they're in, and I'd like nothing better than to field players this season that have come through our own academy.
And what about your backroom staff? It's just you announced at the moment, but are there plans to bring in any coaches, assistants?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people and the talks are quite far down the line, albeit I only started on Friday and I couldn't actually tell them what club I was at, but we're quite far down the line, and I hope within the next 3 or 4 days there'll be a couple of announcements on who will be joining me. So.
And you know Reece Grant, you work with him at Braintree, so
yeah,
you already know half the squad here.
Yeah, Reece is a good lad, and he was great for Braintree Town, and he scored some good goals for Aldershot last season, and I've got to sit down with Reece, and I've always kept in contact with him. He's a top lad, and hopefully he can be a figurehead in what is going to be a successful season next year.
And going ahead now to the fans, what can the fans expect from you?
As I mentioned earlier on in the interview, it's going to be about hard work, and if there are times when we're not maybe performing as well as what we should be performing, one thing it won't be because of is we haven't worked hard enough. I'm passionate about what I do, I'm obsessed with what I do, and I'm confident in my ability to get teams to play and to win football matches. So I'm approachable. I've no problems with answering questions from fans and whatnot, and I get there's going to be an element of scepticism because of my infancy as a manager, but that's understandable, and they're supporters of a football club. It's their club. I'm just a custodian, so at the end of the day they can expect a lot of hard work.
And do you have a message for them going forward?
Yeah, get behind the team, and we'll try and make them proud.